Hey, what up, everybody? Stevie Breach coming to you. A big Monday Night Raw. That was an awesome show, setting up for what we're guessing to be a good main event for Hell in a Cell. It's mostly going to be made by the main event, and we don't even know really what it's going to be. I mean, Vince McMahon came out and said that CM Punk is either going to have to choose between the lesser of two evils. One being John Cena, the guy that I think everybody in the world thought was going to fight at Hell in a Cell once his shoulder and arm got back in the working conditions. He took that week off. I thought that was going to be enough rest for him to get back into shape. But he was wearing that Spider-Man looking brace on his shoulder, and or on his, I guess his whole arm down to his elbow thing. But I for one thought he was just sort of wearing that thing as like more of a way to sell it and show off why he hasn't been on the show and so on and so forth, and why he hasn't been fighting. But when Cena came running down at the end of the show and gave that punch to Punk and threw him back in the ring, I've seen a lot of stuff live, and when you watch stuff live and you have good seats in the first couple of rows, you get to see a lot of the stuff they do in the ring isn't as good, or maybe isn't as you get to see the angles a little bit better, maybe is a way of saying it. You get to see that they don't really punch each other so much and all that other stuff. But that was one of the weakest punches I have ever seen in all of my days of watching wrestling or anything out there. It looked like it took all of Cena's strength to throw that one punch, and then Punk did almost all of the work with Cena throwing him back in the ring. I don't know if maybe that thing's worse than what is out there, but you could tell WWE really thought that that he was going to come right back and get back in there. Maybe now they're playing a little bit of catch up because he has to pick. CM Punk has to pick, John Cena or the Ryback. The Ryback is a guy that they've been high on for a long time. Skip Sheffield back in the Nexus days. Even back then, you always heard that Vince really liked Skip, and he was the guy that Vince really wanted to push somehow along the way. Skip Sheffield got the injury in Nexus when I believe they were in Hawaii doing a house show. He broke his ankle, and it almost took him a full 2 years to come back from this one ankle injury. And when they came back, he was working them house shows at Skip Sheffield, and then all of a sudden he birthed into Ryback, and he started fighting some lower mid-card guys, and then that turned into him fighting just scrubs that were waiting for tickets to get into the show. It was probably a sellout, and that was the only way they were going to get in, is you get fed to the Ryback. And now he's been back defeating these mid-card guys, lower mid-card guys, bottom of the barrel guys. And I don't understand how they can push somebody like this to go straight from, fighting nobodies to fighting for the champion. I know it's, all the Vince and the writing crew, and they get to pick, who goes where and where, but it's always been, you work your way from the bottom to the top, and people always say that they can, you get to, compare him to Goldberg pretty much. And, Goldberg, when he first got to WCW, he fought the bottom of the barrel guys. His first win was against Hugh Morris, and then he fought against the same thing, sort of like, Ryback is now. But then he progressed into fighting, he won the U.S. Championship from Raven, and then he went on and fought the likes of Kurt Hennings and so on and so on. Those real mid-card guys, until he finally got to the point where he beat Hogan, and even that might have been a little bit early. To do it, but it was the right thing for WCW to do at the time. But right now, I don't really see, Ryback as being that Goldberg guy that's really gonna, be the guy who tries to save the company from what it is right now. They have their top guys and Randy Orton and John Cena and CM Punk. They're trying to get Sheamus to that point that you think he's one of those guys. But I don't know. I'm just really surprised because Ryback's the guy you're not going to put the title on, and you're not going to do another no finish at a pay-per-view. So if you put him in there, Punk basically has to beat him, or you have to put the title on him. And I don't really see him, being the guy that's going to take the title off of Punk. We need to get him to the point when Punk can fight The Rock at the Royal Rumble. And I don't really see them, trading the titles back and forth. But then again, with TNA, I didn't really see, Austin Aries, being the guy who beat Robert Roode, because that took you out of the way of getting Storm versus Roode for the title. And, they switched everything on the fly because they thought it was better for them to put Austin Aries as their champion. So, Vince is going crazy about these Monday Night Raw ratings. Maybe he'll do this for Ryback, because, they put the title on him to get people talking and tuning in to see, who the heck this Ryback is that they're not watching right now and not watch football or whatever else is out there. But all in all, I just believe in John Cena. I think that Punk's going to pick Cena because, Punk is sort of scared of the Ryback. And Punk, he's going to try to take the easier way out, knowing that Cena's hurt. And we'll have to get in there and see what Cena can do. And maybe Cena can pull off a miracle. But I'm really one of the people that are out there believing that CM Punk's going to make it all the way to the Rumble. And, past that 1 year marker of holding the title, and believe that, it might not be the best thing for everybody, but is the best thing for the company. They put a whole bunch into getting us to this Rock match that, The Rock hasn't been there since the 1000th Raw, whenever that was, probably 2 months ago, and now all of a sudden he's just going to show up in January when he's not busy making movies, and we're just going to go yippee hurrah and hope that he's the guy that's going to be save the company, which going back last year against John Cena, it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense for me, but I am one of the idiots that go out and did buy plane tickets and a ticket for the Royal Rumble just to see that guy fight, so I'm sort of going against myself. But all in all, when it comes down to it, like I said, I think the Ryback's not going to be included, and maybe the Ryback and Punk will have a feud at the next pay-per-view, but, he's got to lose sometime, but I just don't think it's yet, because, I was one of those guys who didn't really believe in Ryback. I like to watch him beat the fuck out of people on TV, but then once, it came down to it, I really didn't think he was as over as he was, but, the Sacramento Arco Arena, when he came out at the end of the show, I turned around on purpose, and I was shooting my, my video, which is on S-Breach Video. If you haven't seen it yet, the inside the Arco Arena stuff, because I didn't want to put it on this channel and get it taken down. But make sure you check that out. Instead of showing what the Ryback was doing, I turned around and I showed the crowd, because the crowd was going fucking bananas. It was one of those pops that he easily got the best pop of the night. It might have been loud when Daniel Bryan came out and everybody was cheering yes, yes, yes. But, when people pop and you get that bam and just people, jump and scream and, not everybody's, doing the same thing. That it shook you on the inside of your body. That is why you're a fan of professional wrestling. It's just one of those moments. But you gotta go Cena versus Punk at Hell in a Cell. I know that they have the storyline that Punk is scared of the Ryback, and they've been, doing things back and forth, but there's no reason that needs to be in the Hell in a Cell. Sort of just like the same reason that Sheamus versus Big Show doesn't need to be in Hell in a Cell. But, you already named the pay-per-view. It's printed on the tickets, this, that, and the other, and you've already sort of promised a whole bunch of people, so you got to do it. But this is me, Stevie Breach, looking for you guys. Leave me some comments, this, that, and the other, and see you next time. Peace out.